Hey everyone, welcome to 996 The Howl. For the uninitiated, this is an unedited YouTube vlog discussing everything Arizona Coyotes, and would you believe it, they have not worn this sweater, yes, their home primary sweater, in exactly 1 year. The last time they wore this, they won 5-2 over the Buffalo Sabres on February 29th, 2020, a date which doesn't exist this year, February 29th, so it's March 2nd today. So yeah, it's been exactly a year. I think they're wearing this sooner or later against Minnesota, but who knows. And an update, nobody is on the injured reserve list for the first time ever in Coyotes history. Darcy Kemper and Connor Garland, who were held off Saturday's game, were practicing today. So let's hope the good news rolls, because this video probably won't be much of good news. As you can see, it's pretty milquetoast and pretty bland. Considering the lack of flexibility Bill Armstrong had in the offseason, they're up to the cap, a lot of no draft picks for the Coyotes. He managed to acquire 6-7 players, and let's see how they're doing. The 7th player, Frederic Gauthier, who they signed on a professional tryout, has not played for the Coyotes yet this season. So he's not on this board, because what's the point of even talking about him if I don't know he exists? So Tyler Pitlick is my favorite addition. One of the only additions I think that Bill Armstrong should keep on this roster for longer than this season and could actually become a long-term Coyotes player. He plays very much like a Lawson Crouse and a Christian Fischer, but with more unoffensive upside. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 points. He's played every game. His hits, he averages 2.14 hits per game, which is pretty high for a guy who also scores and plays every game. If you look at these hits per game, they're pretty high, except for Larson's. Considering the personnel that Bill Armstrong walked away from, I'm talking about Brad Richardson, Carl Soderberg, Michael Grabner, and Vinny Hinostroza. All of them had hits very low. Carl Soderberg had about the same number of hits per game as Larson, and Brad Richardson was averaging 1.3 hits per game. And then the others were averaging less than a hit per game. So all these guys are hitting way more than a big man Carl Soderberg and that Energizer Bunny veteran Brad Richardson. So Bill Armstrong's goal was to get some more grit, some more sandpaper, some more cacti on the team, and that is actually happening here. So the proof is in the pudding. But back to Tyler Pitlick. He has 1 shorthanded goal. I believe the Coyotes only have 2 shorthanded goals. The other shorthanded goal is Christian Dvorak's penalty shot against Anaheim. And Pitlick has the most forward blocks on the Coyotes, and actually a pretty huge margin for that next forward up, which is Lawson Crouse and Christian Dvorak. They each have 13 blocks, and Pitlick has 23 blocks. So he has a 10 block gap over the second most blocks for a forward. That's mainly because he plays on a penalty kill, but also not afraid to sacrifice his body. And it's great to see that Pitlick will sacrifice his body for the team, and that he has such a large margin in terms of forwards and blocking shots. So I feel like that's a pretty good miscellaneous stat for Pitlick. Moving on, you got Derek Brassard, a Derek Stepan replacement. Both names are Derek. And he's replacing Stepan with that veteran presence. His goal scoring could be a bit higher, but he's got 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points in all the games played for the Coyotes. He's averaging 1.57 hits per game. He's not a big guy, but he's not afraid to throw his body, get in the corners, retrieve pucks, which is an upgrade from Derek Stepan, I think. And his possession numbers are pretty high. He has the most possession numbers after the first line, that short leash line of Keller, Garland, and Schmaltz. Brassard is the next forward up with the highest possession numbers. He's possessing the puck 54.2% more than his opponents. So more often than not, when Brassard is on the ice, the Coyotes have the puck, which is a good stat, a surprising stat, since Brassard kind of ghosts most games. But he does good things. I find him doing good things He doesn't get on the scoreboard much, but his puck management skills are great. He's more energized than Stepan. He's always making good plays, rarely making mistakes. I just wish his offensive production was higher. Next, after that, it's kind of a crapshoot, to be honest. You got Drake Caggiula with 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points in 16 games. He's averaging 1.94 hits per game, so that's pretty high, almost 2 hits per game. Another energizer guy. He likes to throw his body, get into the dirty areas of the game. Very fast out there. Not good at handling the puck, but away from the puck, he's got some good mojo with him. He's got 1 fight, which is the only positive stat I could find for Drake Caggiula. He gets a lot of chances, but I feel like he doesn't capitalize on chances. Maybe he'll shoot a puck wide or what have you. Just bad luck, I guess. After Caggiula is Johan Larson. He has 2 goals, 0 assists in 19 games. He was suspended for 2 games. That's why he only has 19 games. He's averaging 1.11 hits per game, so about the same as Carl Soderberg, like I mentioned before. Positives for Larson: he has the first Coyotes fight of the season, and he has 0 giveaways, which is kind of incredible. In 19 games, he hasn't given away the puck once. And he has 5 takeaways, so his takeaway to giveaway ratio is pretty good for Johan Larson. I expected his face-off numbers to be good, even with Derek Brassard, but they're both below 50%, which is uncharacteristic and not what I was expecting when Bill Armstrong signed them. I thought Brassard and Larson would increase the face-off percentages for the Coyotes, but they're kind of been lackluster in the face-off department. After Larson is Dryden Hunt, who I couldn't find any positives for this guy, but he has 2.67 hits per game. He's only played 6 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. He's pretty much out of the lineup most of the time, unless there's an injury to whoever, or when Larson was suspended, Hunt got some looks. He's another Drake Caggiula, but with less offensive upside. He scored that goal in that first reverse retro night in front of the net in the crease. But yeah, good hit numbers. Another gritty guy. That's a problem with this team, I guess. None of these guys are producing offensively, and they're kind of all the same type of player. Pitlick's the best one out of this bunch, who's fast, big, plays hard, hits, but also has a wicked shot, not afraid to shoot, gets offensive looks, and the rest of these guys, just offensively, their game is not there. And last but not least is John Hayden, not Barrett Hayden, who leads the Coyotes with 2 fights. He's played 10 games, donuts in the offensive department, and 3.2 hits per game. So it's the most hits per game on this team for a forward. So that's good. These guys aren't afraid to throw their body around, not afraid to get into fights. They kind of get the morale boosted for the team when they need it. In those couple of games where they were down 3-0 against the Ducks, they fought in that first period, which boosted the team's energy on the bench, and the team rallied from there, winning both of those games 4-3. But there's not much else besides that. They like to hit. They like to get into the dirty areas, but just in terms of offensive production, it's not there. I'm most disappointed in Larson. I thought he'd be more of a dynamic player. Coming from Buffalo, the Sabres fans were saying he could go up and down in your lineup. Great face-off guy, great penalty killer. He's a good penalty killer, don't get me wrong. Pitlick, Larson are big penalty killers, and Hayden's a penalty killer when he's in the lineup. I don't see Hunt and Caggiula too much on the penalty kill. Because they hit so much, I guess it's kind of invigorating other Coyote mainstays to hit more. Christian Fischer and Lawson Krause lead the team on the forward position with hits, so it's good to see Fischer leading the team in something. Fischer also has no goals, and Lawson Krause also has no goals. So Krause and Fischer fit right in with this milquetoast lackluster group. Not much else to say. No other positives for these guys. I'm loving Pitlick. I hope he stays with the team for a long time. Could be a fan favorite. Has a wicked shot. Plays well with the Vorak. Good energy, good offensive zone, momentum, and possession. I just like the way he plays. Brassard was a good stopgap between Stepan. I don't think he comes back next season. And then these four guys, Larson, maybe you could re-sign him as a fourth-line centerman because they don't have Richardson anymore, and the Tucson Roadrunners don't have a good centerman that would fit on the fourth-line role. You don't want your top centerman in Tucson playing fourth-line center for the Coyotes. You want a guy who knows his role and knows how to play fourth-line center. So maybe Larson could stick around for a couple more seasons. But Hayden and Hunt, probably just stopgaps. Probably won't be on the team for much longer. They need to inject some offensive-minded players into this lineup next season. We'll see Jens Yannick, Barrett Hayden on the team. Maybe Tyler Steenbergen, maybe Bill Armstrong. Works his magic. He has a lot of cap space next offseason, this upcoming offseason. So he can replace these guys with guys who like to score and like to shoot and have a shoot-first mentality. So that could bump up the offensive numbers. But for this season, you're not looking at these guys for offense. Just manage the puck well, get some energy when they're on the ice, don't make any mistakes, throw your body, intimidate the other team, and let the top six or the short leash line just go to work and do their thing. So that's it. They got LA Wednesday night and then a back-to-back against Minnesota. Huge 2 games, Friday and Saturday night. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and thank you